So the Pope is visiting Philadelphia this weekend, but instead of celebrating a mass, perhaps he ought to be delivering a eulogy for Chip Kelly's Eagles. My God, the Eagles, have they cost me a fortune? I started off the season great, went hit 4 out of 6 in the preseason, including 2 out of 3 15-dime plays, my normal top-rated releases. Cashed in with the Patriots minus the half point in the Thursday night opener against the Steelers. Had a 15-dimer 2 Sundays ago with the Broncos holding on against the Ravens. And then I made the unwise choice of backing Chip's Eagles as 15-dime plays each of their first 2 games, and of course have gone 0-2 in the process. But listen, the Eagles have a lot of wonderful company in terms of that 0-2 part, because you look at the Ravens, 0-2, start on the road. Seattle, 0-2, start on the road. Detroit, 0-2, start on the road. My God, what is going on here when you look and you think that some of these teams that have been the dregs of the NFL for years and years, the Browns, the Bucks, the Titans, they all have a win. Seattle, Baltimore, Philadelphia, the Giants, they're still all winless. What is going on in the NFL? Listen, if you happened to visit the site yesterday, you know my video. I was having problems yesterday with the cameras. I think I proceeded to use up my profanity quotient for at least the first 3.5 months of 2016 yesterday when I was trying to get the damn thing to work. But I happened to write here on the site that I kind of stumbled across just something interesting, one of those trends you come across, and I don't know if there's a lot of desire for, or I don't know if there's necessarily an overwhelming swell of support to run out and do what I'm about to tell you, but I wanted to at least pass it on to you. And I noticed that in the past couple of years, as I'm charting the favorites and the underdogs in NFL week-to-week action, that when the NFL dogs cover, generally, they win the damn game outright more often than not. And it's really been a phenomenal trend. And I started updating it for you for this season's action. And it's something I'm going to keep going and running by for you each and every week as we continue here through the season. So in week number 1, the favorites went 9-6-1. And 5 of those dogs won outright, including both Monday night games a week ago, as San Francisco's the home pup took care of business against the Vikings, and of course the Falcons took care of my Eagles with ease. Okay, so what happens? Thursday, thanks to Andy Reid's bonehead play calling, we watched the Broncos, a road dog, win outright. And then yesterday, you look at the results of those games yesterday. The favorites went 6-8 yesterday. 6-8 yesterday. Every single one of those underdogs won outright. Patriots, Browns, Redskins, Raiders, who else? The Cowboys, the Buccaneers, the Falcons, the Jaguars. All of them went outright. So on the season, favorites and underdogs are 15-15 and 1 push, that being the first game between the Steelers and the Patriots. How apropos was that? And of the 15 underdogs, 14 of them have won the damn game outright. Now, why I think it's kind of an interesting trend is this. If you really like that dog, and that's your best bet on the board, if there is significant money that you're going to get by playing them on the money line as well as an underdog price, why not perhaps think about making a smaller investment on the dog to win the game outright on the money line as your smaller secondary play, if it's significant plus money and you really like the dog anyway? Again, favorites and underdogs are 15-15 and 1 so far this season, going into tonight's game between the Jets and the Colts, which I'm going to preview for you and give you a free pick on just a moment. And 14 of those 15 dogs have won outright. Now, of course, that leads me to topic number 2 today, what I call the Monday night mythology, which is just an incredible thing, and it's something that just sustains itself over the years. Everybody always talking about, oh, you got to take the dogs on Monday night. Monday night pups, that's the way to go. Underdogs always cover on Monday nights. Really? Do they really always cover on Monday nights? The reality, of course, is they don't. But, of course, what we remember is when the dogs pull the stunning upset, or the dogs cover the monstrous spread when you have a mismatch, or the fact that both dogs won outright last Monday night. But here's the reality. Home favorites, well, let me put it this way. Favorites on Monday Night Football, going back to the 1993 season. So that's a nice little body of work, right? Favorites on Monday Night Football, 187 wins, 173 losses, and 6 pushes. Yes, guys, since 1993, the favorites are 14 games over 500, which means the dogs are 14 games under 500. What does it tell me? It tells me absolutely nothing, and it should tell you the same. It's the Monday night mythology about the underdogs always being the play. If the underdogs were always the play, wouldn't you at least expect them to be over 500? And yet, in the reality is, they're actually 14 games under 500, 187, 173, and 6. That'll teach me to be doing this video report. What time is it? 8 o'clock in the morning here. As I just traveled across country on the red eye last night and only got into my room a couple of hours ago. But again, and then you break it down further and you go home favorites on Monday Night Football of 7 points or more since 1993, 55, 48, and 2 against the spread. So the bigger Monday night dogs aren't even at 500 since 1993. But again, it's that Monday night mythology. I have heard it for 20 some years, and I've been in this business. I've been hearing it since I started gambling on football when I was in high school, but we won't talk about that. That's the bottom line. So, all that being said, let's take a turn here and look at your action here tonight. Before I get to the free selections, let me just give you a quick roundup, something that I like to do here on Mondays, kind of taking the tour of the NFL, because for me, even though I lost yesterday, I always like to read every single box score, look at what the beat writers have to say, and come across some significant facts that may lead me to make a decision on or against the team the following week. So all week long, it was all the Rex Ryan show, the Buffalo Bills show. Everybody was in love with the Bills here. Hell, Craig Davis had a big 109 play here on the site on the Bills yesterday on the money line. And all Tom Brady did was throw for 466 yards. That is the most yards ever given up by the Buffalo Bills in a single game to a quarterback. And it's his second biggest performance of his career. And the Patriots have now won 27 of the last 30 games straight up in the series. And remember, they were a 1 to 1.5 point underdog in that one. And Tom Brady just simply owns them. He's 24-3 straight up lifetime against the Bills. Cam Newton, strong start, healthy for once. And when's the last time you could say that about Cam Newton at the start of the season? Showed yesterday 18 for 37, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns passing. Also ran the ball 9 times for 77 yards. Ryan Mallett started for the Texans yesterday instead of Brian Hoyer. And on the surface, you say, okay, he ran for a touchdown, he threw for a touchdown, 244 yards passing. But he threw the ball 58 times and only completed 27 of them. And the biggest problem for the Texans remains no Arian Foster, no ground game. Chris Polk, who was a number 4 running back, maybe number 3 if you want to be charitable for the Eagles the past couple of years. He was their leading rusher yesterday, 14 carries for 38 yards. Carson Palmer, another strong start yesterday for the Cardinals, 17 for 24, 184 yards, 4 touchdown passes at Chicago. The past 2 years, and of course, remember, he got hurt last November. Past 2 years, in games started by Palmer, the Cardinals are 10-1 straight up, and they've covered 9 of those 11 games. Johnny Manziel, hey, listen, he got him to win, right? That's the bottom line. But how about the Browns' defense yesterday? Marcus Mariota had a great debut, 4 touchdown passes, matching Fran Tarkenton is the only quarterback in NFL history to ever throw 4 TD passes in his first regular season game. Well, that was easy against a Bucs defense that never touched him. Yesterday, the Browns sacked him 7 times. Adrian Peterson, I said yesterday when giving you the Vikings as a free pick, I thought they'd give him the ball at least 20, if not 30 times. Well, he got the ball 29 times yesterday against the Lions, 134 yards rushing, 193 total yards. I guess the rust came off of those wheels pretty damn quick. Meanwhile, the Lions now 8-21-1 against the spread in their last 30 road games. 8-21-1. Not only did they give up those 30 straight points to the Chargers last week after blowing the 21-3 second quarter lead in their opener yesterday, quickly, just like that, they were down 14-0 at Minnesota. Game, set, match. Steelers, 453 total yards yesterday. Despite only having the ball 23 minutes against that San Francisco defense that didn't look nearly as good against the Steelers, playing way too early in the morning, 9 o'clock Pacific time start, right? Because they were playing on the East Coast time, 10 o'clock, and playing on a short week of travel. 49ers certainly laid an egg yesterday. I was impressed with the way DeAngelo Williams has gotten off to a very fine start for the Steelers, and he really could provide them with um, a valuable backup once Le'Veon Bell returns here. Because in his first two games, while Bell is serving that suspension, 41 carries, 205 yards. I mean, that's a 5 yard per carry average, and he's got 5 catches too out of the backfield. Not as good of a receiver as Bell, but still, they needed depth, and they look like they got something out of this journeyman who still has a little fuel left in the tank. Redskins won yesterday. Kirk Cousins, let's celebrate, guys. 3-8 now, straight up as a starter in the NFL. Um, oh my God, how about the Saints? I've told you I don't know why Rob Ryan has a job. I'm not sure why Rob Ryan has a job. That hair, I just, if I was I would just want to go and like take like, the shears I use to do sheep. I'd love to do that on Rob Ryan's hair. Okay, 55-year-old men should not have hair like that. I'm sorry, whatever he is, he looks ridiculous. 0-4 in the preseason, the Saints were, and they gave up 121 points. But, nobody plays the starters in the preseason. So what have the Saints done in the first two games of the regular season? They've given up 57 points. Not good. Even worse, the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, the Legion of Boom, not quite the same with Cam Chancellor sitting out, smiling on the sidelines as he holds out and continues. Not quite the same with Brian Maxwell. Instead of coming off as a valuable reserve, getting burned every single pass possession for Philadelphia. Not quite the same period as they've given up 61 points in the first two games. So that's your little tour through the NFL, and I'll do that for you each and every Monday. Let's talk about this game here tonight. I don't think it's the best bet on the board. Listen, other guys certainly do, and there's one particular handicapper, actually two of them I want to talk to you about tonight. So Steve Buden's Cali Cartel. Number one football crew last year in college and pro football, and off to a great start this season. They are 29-15-1 in football, college and pro combined over the past 2 years. Tonight, 59 football winner, number 23 of 32. It's on the Colts-Jets game, the side, okay? Matches their 59 winner last night, in fact, on the Packers, that you got for $34, saving $65 off the regular price, and matches their 50-dimer with the Saints over Arizona. Arizona over the Saints in week number 1. Tonight, half price once more. Cali 50 is the coupon code, CALI 50, CALI 50. It's not that it's $50. It's actually half price. It's even cheaper than that. It's 59 play, so I thought that was a cute coupon. At the time this morning when I was half asleep doing my sites and issuing the coupons, I thought it was a brilliant idea. In retrospect, it was really a dumb coupon. But anyway, Cali 50, CALI 50. Brian Rosica, however, I will tell you, 109 play yesterday on the Dallas Cowboys, 109 play tonight, the opposite side of Buden's Cali Cartel. Take it for what it's worth. All your other discounts, all your other coupons over on the homepage. I think this is a hard game here tonight. One of the reasons that I have to factor into it is the simple thing that T.Y. Hilton may or may not play. Returned to practice somewhat on Saturday, banged his knee in the Bills loss for the Colts in week number 1. They need him. Let's face it. I mean, Andre Johnson, yes, he's okay, but he's not T.Y. Hilton. The rookie Dorsett had a nice debut, but he's not T.Y. Hilton, and Andrew Luck needs him. Andrew Luck also has to do a better job against the blitz than he did against Buffalo last Sunday, because the Bills blitzed him relentlessly. Last week, he only completed 40% of his passes when the Bills were blitzing. Last year, against the entire NFL, when they blitzed Luck, he completed 61% of his passes, 18 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. That's a hell of a nice run over a 17-game period. He has to get better protection tonight. They have to get some ground support as well. Frank Gore, what did you go out and get him for if you're not going to let him run the ball, okay? At one time, the Colts threw the ball 18 straight times, 18 straight passes against the Bills. Now, true, they fell down early in that game, but they threw the ball 49 times in that game. They only ran it 17 times. That's the type of run-pass split that you need to be successful in the NFL. But here's the good news. Luck is 14-1 against the spread after a straight-up loss. And the Colts have gone 8-2-1 against the spread in their last 11 as a home favorite. Only once since Chuck Pagano took over the Colts have they lost back-to-back straight-up regular season games, okay? And that was when they went 0-2 to start last season, ironically, losing at Denver and then losing at home against Philadelphia. Think about that. Lost at Buffalo in week one. Now tonight at home against the Jets. Coached by Todd Bowles, who made his bones in the NFL as a top flight defensive coordinator. He obviously saw the game tape. He saw what Rex Ryan did. Is he going to bring his defense, which is a slew of former first rounders, very talented run stopping crew? Is he going to bring the heat on Luck tonight? I think that's the way it's going to be. And yet, I just can't think that Andrew Luck doesn't respond tonight at home in this spot. 7 points. Yeah, naturally. If I'm taking the Colts, I'm going to go ahead and buy down the half point. So the free pick is going to be on the Colts here. Again, I don't think it's the best bet on the board. Just because it's a Monday night game doesn't necessarily mean it's ever the best bet on the board. It's just another game. People put so much into the Monday night games, just like they put so much into the Super Bowl. And as I always tell you for the title game, listen, it may be the Super Bowl, but it has no more value, no more worth than any Mid-American Conference football game played on a Wednesday night during the college football regular season. It's one game, 50-50 betting proposition. If you don't like it, don't bet it. That's the bottom line. I don't like it. That's why it's a free selection. Your other free play tonight, I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals minus $1.40 at home tonight with Gio Gonzalez on the hill. Suddenly now the Nationals have caught fire. What have they won? 7 of their last 8 games, exploded for 13 hits and 13 runs in yesterday's rout of Miami at home. Gio Gonzalez 2-0 with a 1.47 earned run average in 3 September starts. Ubaldo, Jesus, can't talk this morning, guys. Ubaldo Jimenez going for Baltimore, 4.88 earned run average on the road and 90.1 road innings. He's allowed 138 base runners, and opponents are batting 277 against him. Now, granted, the Orioles have won his last 3 starts. They've won 6 of his last 8 overall. But I just like the way the Washington bats are hitting right now. I don't think they're going to catch the Mets, obviously. It would be a total choke job by New York. Not that they haven't done that before. Remember back in 2008 against Philadelphia, right? Final 17 games of the season, they collapsed. But I do like the Nationals tonight. And then there's one quick word about the Toronto-New York Yankees game. I can tell you the positive. That David Price has just been scintillating since Toronto acquired him from Texas. 7-1 with a 2.17 earned run average in 9 starts. 2-1 in those outings against the Yankees, in fact. Yes, this is going to be the 4th time he has faced the Yankees since joining them. But let me just remind you of this. Worst start of the season for Price, and maybe one of the worst of his career, happened back in April when he was pitching for the Tigers. Remember when the Yankees just beat the hell out of him in that particular game? April 22nd, he worked only 2 1/3 innings, gave up 10 hits and 8 runs. So he hasn't been that successful this year necessarily against the Yankees. And the previous 3 years and 13 career starts against them when pitching for Detroit and Tampa Bay, hasn't pitched there well either. 6-4 in those 13 starts with an earned run average of 4.01. So although it would seem to be the Blue Jays, the natural choice, a team that is coming off back-to-back losses against the Red Sox and hasn't lost 3 straight games since early in July. And, of course, they're clinging that 2.5-game lead over the Yankees in the AL East for first place. It would seem that Toronto on the run line minus $1.15 would be the natural play. But, again, just remember, Price has not pitched well against the Yankees over the past 4 years. Well, that'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.